here we are in this best of 5 between Trigger in the top left and Byun. And I have my wrong hotkeys, of course. So don't worry. Just quickly change all that needs to be changed. And there we have our hotkey setup. Professional observer, you know. Professional. Byun wins this, right? I don't think so. I think it's really close between these two, and I think someone like Trigger, who is, I mean, those are basically very similar types of players. Byun and Trigger both like to be very aggressive, both are extremely micro-oriented. And I feel like Byun is struggling against really good Protoss micro players. But I'm not sure how good Trigger adjusted to this patch yet. And I feel like Byun is in a very solid space, so that might be an advantage he has right now. But of course, I'm not sure how good Trigger is adjusted to this one. And of course, his macro play is pretty good. He got big as a macro player and then he went into like the superb micro. So pretty like solid way of training up, actually. The American qualifiers should be won by foreigners, so you're rooting for Trigger, I guess, who is Canadian, officially. I think his parents are Korean, so he is from, has Korean roots. But I think he considers himself a Canadian, pretty much. Now, is he gonna make a second Nexus? Are we gonna go crazy? No. He's just scouting around, looking for a proxy barracks here, maybe like a Marauder opening, something like that. He's gonna go into an Adept first here, no Warp Gate yet. So this might be one of the first times I'm really looking at a high-level player here, playing this race on this patch, and we do get Warp Gate afterwards. So he will go into a quick Warp Gate. The thing though is, are you gonna transform your gates, right? Is that something you can delay if you don't transform the gates anyways? Are you gonna use normal gateway production, which did get sped up, so it's faster now. It is faster, I think, than the warp gate production. Your production cycles are gonna be faster. The issue though is you are kind of locally bound to, well, the production facilities. And the warp gate, of course, has the advantage now as well that it does not need any addition to the pylon to have a fast warp-in field. So you just get the fast warp-ins for free. Or second warp-ins anywhere in just a single pylon, so that's pretty solid. You can like do that old proxy pylon stuff that used to be a play in Wings of Liberty. I guess it's not as good as in Wings of Liberty because you could use it was possible to warp in from low ground to high ground, so you would make a pylon over here and you could warp into the main if you had the vision. So it was very messy. I'm glad that got fixed. Now we do have two Adepts here. Can he pick off a Marine? I don't think so. Byun's micro is a little bit too good there. Nice stutter stepping. He will shade forward though. I don't think he's gonna commit to the shade. He's just gonna hang around for now. He's gonna grab another Stalker here to complement his army. And he's just making some probes going into that gateway number 2 and into Blink. So the third unit is gonna be that Stalker into that Blink. That means he probably has something planned for the... Oh my god! Hands off the keyboard. That's an oh shit moment there. So you're going Blink, right? Your first Stalker, the very first Stalker, walks into a Widow Mine. It's like a bad bar joke. The Stalker and the Widow Mine walk into a bar. The Stalker gets shot. The Widow Mine walks out. And that's it. GG. Now he even drops that Widow Mine, it just got hit, it didn't get shot. Oh, he mismicroed that one Adept there. He might lose one of those. Actually only kills the Marine, so pretty okay. Pretty okay. So kind of okay, he's kind of salvaging those Adepts at least. But that is close to being a disaster of an opening here for Trigger with the early unit movement. Which is kind of interesting here to see. considering he's usually such a strong micro player. If he can get the connect, no, he does get it. It's gonna be a good shot. Ah, he doesn't have blink yet, so he will lose a stalker. And there's one more Widowmine here. Will get surrounded by the probes. He will try to sacrifice one here. The Widowmine is gonna get picked up. And the second burrow does not indeed work out. So he needs to fix up the economy here real quick. And then he's gonna actually start to saturate the third base already. So he wants to play mineral heavy. That's what I'm gathering from that. By the way, he's still using normal gateway production. So there's no warp gates yet. I really wonder why they get warp gate that fast. Like, you can do other things with that early gas, right? You can get an earlier Twilight Council. You can get an earlier Zealot charge. You can get an earlier Templar Archives, for example. You can get the warp gate at the point where you actually want to use it, because once you get the upgrade done, you can insta transform. You just need to pay the money. So I'm not really sure why people still implement it in the build. It might be just because you have the money anyways, but that's not a good way of thinking if you want to optimize, right? So Double Forge coming in here as well as charge, and on the other side Byun is playing the Wall Terran, as they like to do it, with a +1 upgrade here. This looks to be a 2-base push, and we'll have to see how much he wants to commit to that, or if he's going to throw down a third base eventually behind that. There's going to be a drop first, but no stem here, of course, for this one yet. So we'll be a little bit flimsy. But if you can recycle that early medevac, of course, will be a lot of energy. It's already pretty high up. This was the one that dropped the Widowmines, I think, earlier. So very nice to keep that around and getting that ready for another drop. But Trigger's already warping in another pylon. Now, this warp in thing, right? You have those spotter pylons, right? So let's say you put up 2 spotter pylons staggered. Okay? You are able to warp in then a 4 warp in High Templar and get a feedback done on these things. Like, you can warp in units now in these spotter pylon positions if you have the warp gate. That's something that's open for you at your disposal now. And I think a lot of people are sleeping on this yet. So this could be very, very strong against any kind of air harassment, which has to move through positions that are visible or scoutable with pylons. A very nice micro here from Trigger, unlike the one I did early here to Byun's army. It's gonna delay that push a little bit, but he doesn't really slow down the push. He's just gonna thin out the marine count a tiny bit. But in the end, the double medevac is gonna be enough to heal that up. Now he waits with the drop in the north, by the way. I think it did get scouted, of course, by the pylon, right? So he killed that one. And there's the SCVs as well. Byun says, I don't know, no more Protoss. Now, is he gonna transform the gates now? He could do that to get one additional round of units really fast. He needs to pay the price though. It's a lot of money. 25 per gate, 25. He still is fighting okay in this battle here. And the Zealots are gonna run out though. Now he needs to be careful. If he loses all of these stalkers, he needs to focus the Immortal on the tank. Yeah, pretty nice retarget there at the last second. It's gonna recall into the main. So 24 SCVs have been killed, and he did kill a very nice pylon here, powering so many structures in that main base from Trigger, but that's kind of all he did. He didn't really kill any probes, really good probe pool there. And all of these SCVs, they're dead now. And Byun with his 2 base all in, I think. This is not gonna work out. It's a best of 5, of course, so it's a good idea to throw one in, and this is a good map for it, because it's a very fast map. But this is almost lights out for Byun here. He has one more shot. If he can get a good fight, can get some good connections. Nice split there on those Zealots. Gonna re-engage with the Zealots. Wait for that charge to get up again. And he's not really pushing out further than he needs. He does have 1 shield battery behind here. Gonna try to chase a little bit with the Stalkers to try to thin out that count a little bit more. Byun is reproducing SCVs. And a 4 medevac drop into the main here. If he had those warp gates, man, he could already warp in a few more. So this time there's a lot of pylons, and the Zealots are trying to get on top of that bio. It's a pretty good fight here for Byun. Needs to snipe that sentry. Doesn't get to do that one. Too many Zealots streaming through. And he's gonna pick up again. Can he kind of push this down? I don't think he can. There's so much mining going on here for Trigger. And Byun's economy is looking so small. I mean, look at that. It's almost 1k advantage per minute here. That means every minute that goes by, there's gonna be 1000 more minerals in units for Trigger here. In comparison. And that's just so many zealots. That's 10 more zealots, right? No, maybe not. 5 more zealots. It's a lot. Every minute, 5 more zealots. We do have a little bit of a run by here in the south while he's distracting in the north. But I mean, the probe being evacuated, that's kind of all you need to do here. Of course, getting the pylon that powers the shield batteries is pretty nice, but there's the first Colossi. The army's just growing stronger here for our Protoss player, and Byun. He needs to think of an out. He needs to think of something. So he's actually throwing down a 3rd CC, and he's probably gonna try to keep up the pressure and just try to thin down the army. Especially if he can kind of fight against these small chunks of units, but there we go. Double Colossus coming in, another round of reinforcements there streams in. And we do have that first map on the board here for Trigger. So pretty good play by Trigger. Next we are going to play Old Sun Temple, I think. That was it's a ladder map, right? Old Sun Temple, there we go. Let's start this game. You guys are split up, but it doesn't matter. It's like a Zerg. Yeah, kind of. He just had enough, right? He had enough production. I should have checked the gate count, but I feel like he was on 6 gates for a while, and then he went up to 8 gates eventually. I think. But it's very interesting with the new production. But it seems like all of the Protoss players the professional ones, are just producing from the normal gateways, not the warp gates. Which is a surprise to me, at least. I feel like the flexibility of the warp gate being so good in reinforcing each position individually is so powerful that you kind of just, even if the cooldown is higher and the production cycles are going to be slower, you kind of want to emphasize on that. But so far Trigger doesn't. Let's see if he brings it in this game. Now in the bottom right on Old Sun Temple we do have Byun. I kind of need to... Okay, let's check the vision. I'm not sure if this is always cross spawn, because it says it's a 4-player map, but it is it's like a 1-on-1. So I don't think so. This has no vertical spawns, right? So you can't be bottom left against bottom right, or top left against top right. So that means it's either this cross position or the other cross position. Okay. It's a pretty big map, yeah. Oh, you can be horizontals. Oh, so it's no verticals. Okay, so this is a 1 in 3 chance. It's like a 3-player map. Got it. Thank you very much, Avex. So it can be horizontal, so it could be bottom left here for Byun, or in the top left. And for Trigger it would be top right or bottom right for his opponent, where he could be. I hope the players do recognize it. I think they get like a icon at the start of the game where it shows like, okay, your opponent can be here or here. I'm pretty sure that's how this operates. It used to show up for the observer as well if you go into the vision, but maybe I need to do the vision just at the beginning of the game, because that's when it actually shows up for the players. Not sure. Maybe that got patched out. This is going to be scout through the middle and then cross scout. I think cross scout is probably the smart way to scout it. Because if you think your opponent, I guess, I don't know, is it? I mean, you scout through the center, so if your opponent does do anything in the center, you can kind of scout that out as well with a cross scout, right? So I think it's probably the smart way to scout it, even though it's going to be a little bit slower. So he does get there after the marine spawns, needs to get out immediately, but he does at least scout his opponent. And Byun doesn't know where he is yet. Byun is just walking with a marine. To scout, I guess. Just a little bit. It's a funny position for this guy. Going into command center here on the low ground, of course. Trigger again with the adept and the warp gate research. It's gonna be the third CC, so super fast 3 CC here from Byun. No tech whatsoever, only just Marines with a reactor. Like 1 Marine into triple CC, this is so greedy. Can he make this work? That's really exciting here. But if he can pull this off against Trigger, then he will have a super strong mid-game. Needs to be able to defend though. It's a very big entrance for your natural base, and this Adept is gonna get in here. He will commit to the shade. He will probably be able to pick off the SCV, but not before. Oh god, pretty good save. Yeah, I love this from Byun. Delays that orbital a little bit. Is gonna save the SCV again here. No. The rekill or the turnaround there from the Adept does get the kill there. And Byun does lose an SCV, but he does get the Adept, so pretty good actually, because you don't want to get that Adept or let it be on the ramp. So you will deny the full scout. Of course, he knows from the Marine numbers there has to be a reactor on the barracks right now. Or they have to be like 2 barracks, which is highly unlikely with that fast of a command center. So there's a second barracks, by the way, but yeah, it is still making attack lab. It's just finished up. And there's the third barracks. So Byun will go into his beloved 3-rack style against Protoss, but he has 3 command centers with it. So super, super economic. Very late tech. He will have a strong push though in the early mid game. But it's like a one-time weapon. It's like a one-time, it's a disposable card to use, right? You use it and then you throw it away. So this army is like a wasted army eventually, if it pushes out too early. Or maybe he just wants that power spike in case Trigger would attack him with an all-in, like a 4-gate or something along those lines, right? Those strategies are still viable. Blink 4-gate, very powerful. Now we of course see it's not the case. It's gonna be Blink, but only with 2 gates, so pretty much economic here as well for Trigger. He already has the Robo-Op. He's getting into that Observer. But I feel like the tempo advantage on the economy is a little bit in favor of Byun here. Engineering Bay on the way. Stim of course halfway done. And you see already a few Marauders to boost that army, to boost the health. And that's very much intentional because you kind of need something to anchor your Marines. And if you don't have Medivacs, for example, to heal them, or if you don't have tanks to provide you that kind of range and constant damage, you need at least something to boost the health and a tiny bit the range, I guess. They do have 1 more range over the Marine. 6 range against 5 range, so they will be able to shoot at... Oh, that's a pretty good snipe. Let's have a look at the vision. He didn't see anything. He only saw like, oh, you macroed bad. He sees you wasted a mule. That's all he sees. And it doesn't even matter that much because he has such an early 3rd command center here. Very greedy build from Byun. I really dig this one. Pretty solid. And he didn't even scout, like he doesn't know what Trigger is doing at all. It is so risky, but it works out just so beautiful here in this specific game. 1 Forge on the way, we do have 4 gates right now, it's gonna add 2 more. And no warp gate producing yet, it's only gateways. Still holding the breath for the first time we see that warp gate transformation and how that's gonna be utilized. So another observer does get killed off here, and I think Trigger still has no idea. He didn't even see these 2 additional barracks come in. That's insane. Now there's the first 2 Medivacs, and this is what Byun was waiting for. Now he's gonna go into that combat shields, he's gonna go into concussives very early because he already has a bunch of Marauders. Even though he might not be producing them right now. He's gonna have a very powerful bio army already pretty much kind of teched through to the points where you can really go out on the map and fight. Now finally the observer comes in. Of course he scouts the army, so he knows kind of what he's up against, but he didn't know about that command center. If you can snipe the Medivac, it's pretty good. And he does escape because of that speed zone, but just for a little bit. It's what you think, until those stimmed Marines and Marauders do chase it back. So he loses a couple Stalkers. It's not the worst, but definitely he wanted to keep all of those alive here. If you can get that second Medivac though, oh, I think Byun might be a little bit too much forward with the Medivac. Like 1 Stalker blinking only would be enough here. There's another Medivac though joining this group of units. And man, fighting in the speed zone is so insane. Everything moves so fast. I'm not sure who is like right and who is wrong. It's so crazy. The Trigger ate his spinach before his qualifier. He might have. And the speed of some... The speed zone helped Terran. Probably. It made Blink worse, but it also makes Zealots way better. It's really cool, this map, yeah. It has this kind of center speed zone setup as well. We did see that already in... on Exarch as well, right? Exarch has like a speed zone, slow zone, kind of. Speed zones and slow zones. So depending on where you go in the middle, you slow down or you're faster. This is just the speed up. And some like obstructions basically in these high grounds, which I really like. Personally, I really like these high grounds. They don't really provide anything like for bases wise. They're just there in the middle to kind of cut off the map. Oh god, really good connections there on the mines, but again, Byun needs to be careful how he utilizes these speed zones. If he gets ever chased back through those and the Zealots are gonna get in that speed, man, they'll speed up like super Ferraris. Now Byun is just gonna plow through here, and that strong mid-game timing that I was talking about, it is here right now. It is just before the AoE is out for Trigger. Can Trigger stabilize? Are we seeing some warp gate production? Not yet. It's only normal gateways, and I think he's gonna lose that Colossi as well. Poof. There it goes down. We need to see some more reinforcements, but running through the speed zones, especially with Stim, they speed up so much. And unless Trigger can stabilize here at this base, we'll have a very rough time. And you look at that, like these Zealots, they're walking in single file, and that's because of the production change for Protoss right now. There's no warp gate being utilized here for Trigger. He's working on 6 normal gateways, and because of that, all of the production comes in staggered, and it is so much power that is lost there for the Protoss, because they used to come in swarms, right? Because you would reinforce in like warp-in waves, and they're not doing that anymore, so it's kind of like Terran reinforcements coming in one by one. Next map is gonna be Eternity's Edge, and I'm gonna put that one off. I can actually do this. So we're looking at 1-1 here. Pretty good game so far. I really like what I'm seeing. Both players pretty strong, and I need to stop use the word pretty now, or I'm gonna get caught by the police. Oh, I did select the wrong server. Okay. All right. Let's go into map number 3 in this best of 5. Oh yeah. Eternity's Edge. Also a really interesting map in the case that it has, how do you say, a mirrored symmetric. It's not rotationally symmetric. That means there's like, you can cut this in half in the middle, and it's just mirrored. And I always like these kind of maps because you have like a different layout to one side and then to the other, and it can be kind of actually unsymmetric in a way in the bases. Let's quickly introduce the players, then we're going to talk about the map a little bit. In the top left we've got Trigger, and in the bottom right it is Byun. So as you can see here, in the top you have everything, like the bases, they are mirrored. This is the setup for one player, this is for the other player, so they have like the same bases over here. In the middle, at the bottom, you have basically one base which is kind of cut in half. That only works on these mirrored maps, not on the symmetrical. I guess you can make it work on the symmetrical ones as well, but it used to, it kind of happens more on these ones. Diagonally symmetrical, I guess, yeah. Okay. Mirrors kind of symmetry. Alright guys, I'm clearly not a native. You go ahead. Reflection versus rotation, there we go. Okay, diagonal symmetric. So we got that out of the way, but I like this symmetry way better than the other one, the rotation, because it is just kind of making for cooler maps. Now one proxy barracks with a gas. What are we gonna see? I think this is more like a Reaper timing. If we look at the gas income for Marauders, you could skip the refinery for like a moment longer, but he does actually commit into the tech lab. So really hyped to see this one. Should be a Marauder play. Only one barracks though. Kind of interesting. Is he gonna make another one? Yes, if he is still hanging around, he could make another one, but that's very late, right? I mean, he's gonna make the Marauder and the Concussive first now. There's a one barracks Concussive play. With no second barracks. Or what are you gonna do, bro? You're gonna make one. He's still producing SCVs, he's getting his supply depots, and he's actually going into a second gas. That means we're not gonna see a second barracks here, most likely. A one barracks Marauder pressure build. And this time we're gonna see a Stalker. That's probably the worst unit you could kind of get here for Trigger, but Trigger is really good in the micro department, so he might be able to outmaneuver that. And if you can kind of get a scout on this one, actually not scouting at all is really big in this situation as well. He has no idea that this is coming in. He's gonna miss these. He's gonna miss these. They're coming in. They're coming in right now. They're coming in hot. They have the SCV. They're gonna get a bunker even. And he might just settle for the pylon. The Stalker already halfway through the map. Can't really do much. Probes coming here. Second Stalker will be there though. But there's gotta be a bunker to micro around. I wonder if he would have let that pylon kind of stay for a moment. Needs to be careful though. You don't really want to lose these Marauders. 3 Marauders though. Can he get enough probes to make it worthwhile? He needs to get a few more than 3. But already killing 4. Needs to target fire correctly there. He's gonna get number 5, number 6. This is probably at the point of return investment right now. There's a lot of mining time as well, and he has one more Marauder popping from the barracks at the right moment here. He needs to focus down that one probe here. He gets one additional probe. Even the SCVs comes in on the accurate. He finishes off with the SCV. That's so cool, man. The SCV with the assist kill here. Needs to sell the bunker before it gets broken. Like, you need to attack this with a probe. So he can't salvage this one. You need to make this costly here as Trigger. And I think that was a mistake. So he like has to, you know, it has to burn down if you keep on attacking that, right? So you can kill it eventually. And we'll take a look at the income here, but that's a lot of money that was wasted there. So he was up about 200, or let's say 150 above his opponent per minute, and then he dropped to minus 700. So he dropped like 800 to 900 per minute mining for that move for like how long? Like a solid, let's say maybe half a minute to a minute-ish, while he was about down like on average 400 to 500 mining. That's a lot. That's a command center, kind of. So Byun's investment, I really think it did pay off here. He's faking cloak right now. Was that actually seen? No, there's nothing that scouts us. Now there comes the hallucination. Gonna try to come in and scout this one. This is where you stop the barracks. Float over. Of course he needs that. Oh, he's gonna throw down. He wanted to put it inside that, but this is immediately scouted. So really good hallucination coming in here from Trigger. Perfect timing. It's gonna see all the commands and this might even double check back in the north. Hey, wait. Oh yeah, that's actually a third one. So you are playing this super greedy. He has a Marauder in the tank, 3 command centers. He's still faking cloak, but I think probably the medevac wasn't seen, but he's not producing anything here. Now he's actually making a Banshee. What the fuck? He cancels cloak and then makes a Banshee. He cancels the reactor and makes a reactor. Byun is on fire right now. And Trigger has already a spotter pylon for this, so he will see the medevac come in. Pretty good. And Trigger wants to take the 3rd Nexus here. Protoss expanding feels very fast and smooth again here, but I mean, he's very unit light, to say the least, right? And he has a bunch of Stalkers right now, 1 sentry for that scouting potential, and still no warp gate ever used here. He's only working with 2 gateways, Kind of need to get used to that. It seems like that's the preferred way of playing for most protoss. Of course, you have faster macro cycles. You will produce faster out of the gateways if you keep constant production up. And that's what they kind of intended at first with the gateways and the warp gates, but the warp gate was just way too strong for basically all the 16 years of StarCraft 2 that it never made sense to produce out of a normal gateway. So now they really kind of nerfed warp gates and they buffed gateways a bit to the point where gateways are just stronger for constant production. But I said this in the last game as well, I'm gonna say it again. Protoss are not used to that, so they will spread out their production facilities like crazy, and they need to gather up their armies before they reinforce into a fight. Kind of like Terran players do this as well. Now this Banshee's gonna hit a shield battery, unfortunately. It's gonna try to walk away, but I think he's gonna get caught. And that's a very sad Banshee. I'm still waiting here with this dropship. They need to relearn 16 years of muscle memory. Yeah, just that. Definitely a huge task. Now there's one Marauder in that bunker. He still has those concussives, and then he has like a bunch of units on the high ground, and the tank of course to support. So he's not really showing what he has right now, but of course he was scouted earlier with that hallucination. Yeah, the medic's just chilling. It's just kind of forcing the units to stay at home, at least some of them. And Trigger behind us is going into the double forge upgrades here. We do see Zealot legs and of course the Robo again to get those Colossus out eventually. It's interesting how he's like unconsistently producing, right? He's consistently inconsistent producing, and his, of course, he's getting supply blocked. We see this so much with high-level protoss right now, how often they get supply blocked because of the way they have to macro differently right now. And they kind of really have to constantly throw down pylons, way more than they did with the warp-ins. And of course, it was kind of simple to trigger your brain after you did the warp-in, you throw down a pylon, right? So you kind of do warp-in round and you throw down 2 pylons. You do the warp-in round, you throw down 2 pylons. Now you can just constantly produce, constantly have to throw them down. Kind of need to rewire your brain a little bit. That's why we see so many Protoss players get actually supply locked here so often, because they also produce from their normal production facilities, right? Robo, Stargate, whatever they use, the Nexus. Now let's see what Byun can do with this push here. I feel like the defense was really good there for Trigger. At least the follow-up defense against the medevac harass and stuff. So he didn't really allow anything past that initial attack, which did okay. And Byun has a very solid footing right now in this mid-game. But both players are kind of on similar supplies. We do have an upgrade advantage right now for Trigger. He's on 1-1 already. I think he just set up a little bit of a Zealot run by there into the 3rd base. There's gonna be the drop finally come in. It's gonna get 1 probe here. And maybe a bigger one in the main base. There's the shot. Only gets 1 additional probe here. So not really that much. If you can salvage the medevac would be amazing. I think it's gonna get intercepted. There's the Zealot run by. Will run into a wall of depots. Is this blocked? I don't know. Oh, he does let the medevac survive. He runs into 2 tanks and a Widowmine. Oh man. And some bio. So definitely not the best day for these Zealots. They get 2 SCVs. Hurrah. On the other side we do see a center push though from Trigger, and he has the strong army with him. Still at the upgrade advantage. It's gonna change in a second. Literally 1-1 for both players here. But I think he's chrono boosting that pretty strong. Pretty please. Widowmine is going to connect with the Stalker here. Nice connection. Really wants to get that damage on the Zealots though. And cancel on this base. Kills the SCV as well, so he's going to deny the second that was set up. And we do have the first ghosts now with the EMPs ready at hand here if it actually comes to a big fight. +2. Very close to finish up here. on the weapons. I hope Byun is gonna remember that +3 weapons as well. And Trigger is really chrono boosting those. Super heavy. You will have a tiny frame here right now where he's gonna be up 1 upgrade there, but this is gonna close already in 10 seconds. But if he fights now, these 10 seconds, he's gonna have a good time. Oh, where's the disruptor? I want to see it shoot. Wait, doesn't it have like an auto attack now? Where's the attack thing? Isn't it like a infestor where it has like a super 4 damage auto attack or something like that? Did it get removed again? There's the Nexus number whatever, I don't know, man. He's just making, and he's doing this, like he's just making warp gates everywhere. Or sorry, gateways. But they're not stacked up. So this is in the main, that's nice. And I wonder if these fringe ones he's just gonna use as warp gates. Because they're not gonna, like you'll not make 3 barracks at your 5th base as a Terran, right? Unless you really need a wall. So that, I wonder how good those are there in the location. Trigger's trying to push that 4th base before it gets established. Can he get up on that high ground? SCV transfer is still happening here. Will probably get caught by the Colossi. Oh, he does lose 1 Colossi though before. Vikings are here in the air and they are making some love with the Colossi heads right now. The Infestor does have the attack. Yeah, I already saw that one. So the Disruptor only has a ghost attack? That's so stupid. Yeah, the Infestor does 4 damage with like a snot ball. It's a tiny green snot ball. Oh, that EMP looks really cool. Did you see that? Like the EMP looks different now. I actually haven't noticed a change, but I think they did do some adjustment to the visuals there. Kind of looks a little bit more like Brood War. I feel like the Classics team is trying to make this Brood War. I'm not sure if that's the correct way of patching this game though. And I also don't think this is the correct way of engaging into this position here for Trigger. He's losing so many units right now, and remember, no warp gate means no in-fight reinforcements. They need to walk across the map like this. They're walking and walking and walking. He is still keeping his Stalker bulk alive, and he did trade against a lot of these bio units. I think you want to kind of empty that bunker and get that tank a little bit more forward, like maybe on this high ground or something. Nice disruptor shot here. Jan did try to go with a rekill here, did not manage to make it happen though. Now Planetary is gonna go in on the action as well. He is gonna add a lot of extra damage against these Zealots, and he's actually focusing on the Colossi now. Just funny, he's burning down the Colossi with the Planetary. Can he survive? Can it survive? Oh, it's so close, and it is gonna survive. Oh, that's a massive win for Byun here. He will keep that one alive. He kills the whole army, and in the end has a good bunch of his own army survive. He only loses 10 SCVs. Not that big of a deal, honestly, if you can drop 15 mules after this. Oh, excuse me, ladies and gentlemen, it's only 9. But damn, son, that was a really good fight with that Planetary here for Byun, just barely staying alive. That was so much damage on the Planetary. Let's see if that actually shows up. Ah, it's gone now. I was about to look at the number and then it just goes away. I think he almost killed it like 3 times or something in health value, so he wasted so much extra damage on that. Oh, look at that. That's how the EMP looks now. That looks really cool, huh? I mean, I didn't hate the old EMP, but I like it if we get some new visuals from time to time. It looks kind of cool. Those are things they could sell, right? Like, get EMP visuals as like skins. Spell visuals. Make the Infestor throw a green, like a blue snot or something, I don't know. Byun is pushing this army quite heavily. But really good kiting here from Trigger. He's trying to do some harassment, but is not really finding its value there. And on the bottom side again, I think this army is about to fall over like this Colossus. It's still gonna stay alive though for now, but one tiny push forward again from Byun here was not stimmed there on those Marauders. Might do the trick here. He is up so much in supply right now. Actually, his trigger supply is really good. It's funny how high he can keep the supply now with this constant production. We don't really see him bounce up and down in supply. But in the end, man, these Colossus are getting focused down right now. Only one does still stand. No more Zealots. They're kind of stuck behind the Stalkers here. Frontline is starting to fall again and again. These Stalkers have been sticking around for a long time. But man. Come on, Marauder. Can you retarget on this Colossi? Oh, he shoots the pylon now. We do again have a run by here of Zealots, but the Liberator now at the defense. We need to reinforce this army a little bit here for Byun. He's trying to go for the sniper on the Colossus, but that's a little bit of a mistake. Now he exposes his Liberators. Not sure if I like that choice there with the stim in. He loses most of these Liberators, even though he trades kind of against these Stalkers. One thing we need to take a look at is that Trigger lost the base. Okay, yeah, that's good pushing from Byun, but he has a lot of bases everywhere. And Byun doesn't really know about those, especially in the north. He has no idea. If he sends around like 3 Marines, he can kill so much in the north. He doesn't even have a Marine. Oh, I guess he has 8, but he has way more Stalkers. Sorry, Marauders, of course. Since there's no Immortals with this army, the Marauders, of course, are doing quite nice. Siege tanks. Only that one still sitting around here. And even though Byun had a really good fight, I mean, look at the units lost. It's insane. The income is also quite insane. It's not as big as it was in the Solar series earlier. I think so Byun still has an edge here right now. But he's starting to kind of run out of steam. Not really. Oh my god. He spends a scan for 1 probe. No. No. Does he have Liberator range? Yeah, he does it, of course. So he needs to have something here. He doesn't see anything. The vision range is so small now. Liberator range doesn't really do anything for harassment. Really. He sees all of these Zealots just walk through the map. It's so funny. He denies a Nexus that was basically next to his own base. And Byun at Eternity's Edge kind of needs to, like, to this point he's been playing great, but after this acquiring new bases, it's going to be very difficult here for Terran. It's suddenly a very huge map. You need to move around properly, and kind of need to intercept the armies correctly here. And these Zealot run-bys are getting stronger and stronger. There's no Liberator any longer here to protect this base. He just has 1 pop right now, but he needs to pull back the army. And he also needs to be careful that he doesn't lose this base here in the south, which is exposed. This is a fresher base, so this is a more important base. Really good movement there from Trigger. Identify. He pulls away the defenses from one base and just moves over and kills a different one while he harasses that one. Protoss is winning, yeah. I think you're right, but he still can't really win a fight. So if they actually battle it out straight up, Byun is getting the upper edge. But Trigger has so much money at this point, he kills a few of his own units because he accidentally clicked on them. I don't even see the visual for the disruptor attack. He doesn't know. He knows about this. I think he scanned. Oh no, it was a Liberator, of course, so that's when he scanned it. But yeah, didn't even see this one because the Liberator didn't move there. That was a very sad Liberator. Byun kind of needs to notice this. This is such an easy picking, right? He doesn't have warp gates, so he can't reinforce those. He can't save those bases. That's also something you need to consider. No warp gate means he's only producing 17 gateways. I guess it's a lot, but he doesn't have one single warp gate, so he cannot warp units in. He has those kind of pylons there. They don't do anything though. You just walk around with 5 marines. You can kill every single probe. Byun needs to recognize that if he tries to take this base, he is probably already ahead in that base a little bit above, right? And that's about to run dry very soon. I guess not soon, but... I mean, he's mining a lot from here. And that's just free mining that Byun lets happen there. The income advantage is starting to show here again. You see Byun only one time with a mule hammer that was kind of comparatively in his favor. But he's trying to take a base where Trigger is already at. This is so funny, the zealots are like walking below that base. So Byun knows these zealots are coming, but he needs to defend his top area at first. There's gonna be the planetary. He has a big bioball though. That's a very failed zealot attack here, and it will even get pincered there. Oh, Byun a little bit slow there. Needs to be careful with this. Oh, standard army movement here. Do they deal more damage again, Disruptors? I don't think, right? 100. Not really. Yeah, Byun tries to take the space, but you can cannon this now as Trigger if you really need to. And I feel like Byun would be served better if he tries to go up in the north. Takes this base and this base and this base. He kind of secures 3 bases there in the north, right? This is already starting to run dry. And this you kind of can let go. And even if you don't get the gold, I mean the gold's just gonna run dry faster, right? Even though it's gonna give you a lot of income for a short moment, it doesn't really get that constant money in. So you could get like 3 bases in the north. Oh, there's 1 additional gold in the south. I really would have loved an approach over here. Just have a Liberator over there, harass him. It's already accumulating a good bunch of kills. Yeah, Trigger is losing a lot more, but he's mining so much more, it doesn't really matter. He's still working, he's working on 19 gateways right now. He's really the definition of gateway man. We finally have it in StarCraft 2. Welcome to StarCraft 2. Dear gateway man, we really needed you, we appreciate you, and you're here now. Let's get the Arbiter next, shall we? So, Stokers are pushing out the factory. And Byun finally landed at the gold, so he can bring in some SCVs, he can start to try and mine from that, but if he loses this top position, I mean, he opens really up the path for Trigger, and it feels like this map is just not really working out for Byun. Counterattack here on the bottom as well. Trigger's kind of just really splitting up his army into small parts, and he's doing that quite well there. We have a Marauder force now finally cancelling the space here, north to Byun's position. And this big army will get intercepted as well. The Zealots already spent their charge. The command center that was on the left did get killed off by these Stalkers, but again, if you can kill this army, then these Disruptors look silly when they shoot. That's the new visuals, and then they're like gray, and then that's... I mean, it's good for actually knowing. It's probably okay, even though it kind of looks stupid. It's probably okay, because now you really clearly know, oh, this Disruptor has a shot, this doesn't. It's probably better for all the not professional players. I mean, you see which one did shoot, this one, right? So he really is without any energy right now. And you even know which one's shooting because they're like, alarm, alarm. Now this army is getting wrecked right now from Trigger, but he has again another run by in the south. And this is the moment where I feel like, Byun, you kind of want to go up into the north. Just evacuate the south, just let it be. You already mined a lot of decent amount from here. Just grab 3 bases in the north. Trying to, again, reclaim this position. He finally gets to this base. There's a recall now. He could kill the next... Oh, that's not enough units. That's a cute recall. I mean, he will buy some time, but it doesn't really matter. So it's again another... He's just feeding into the storm there. Oh, the Orbital does stay alive. He blinks in for the snipe on the Viking there to save the Colossi. He brings in another flank of Zealots. And Byun needs to bring this army down, or he might lose this base. A few Liberators are gonna be enough for now, it seems. Byun is starting to punch out some bases here. He's starting to punch into the income. 50 probes are remaining. He also did kill a lot of workers, so Trigger's bank is gone. His probe count is gone. His income advantage is gone. Can Byun finally do it? Can he finally do it? Can he close the game? Trigger has nothing left. This is all he has. He's traded 24,000 resources worse than Byun. He's lost so many zealots, 300 and 100 stalkers, 14 colossi, 10 disruptors, never got up to storm. Things are going haywire. Beautiful. Beautiful EMPs there. And the last few units are gonna fall here. Trigger is trying his damnedest to stay in this game, but man, even though he's still at an income advantage, because Byun, this is literally his own mine, all of his mining right now. It's kind of cute, but his standing army is so powerful. He splits it up though. That could be a chance. That's the only kind of chance that Trigger has. In smaller groups, his army fights are usually a little bit stronger, because the units tend to be a bit stronger. But there we go. GG is going to be called. And Byun did survive the storm. He is going to take the third map. What a game. What a game. Really good game here. Protoss the new Zerg. Zerg is also the new Zerg. Oh god. Okay, so next is gonna be Necropolis. Necropolis. The city of the dead. Map has been removed? Wait. Avex, they remove your map. Necropolis. Okay, so it's the okay. Let me quickly bookmark this. So you basically renamed it. I still have the old named version in the bookmarks. This is RSL Necropolis now. Wait. Okay. Finally got it out of the way. Go. So we're 2-1 for Byun right now. He needs one more map. This could be this Necropolis, RSL Necropolis. Or it could be the last map. But he has 2 shots. Now Trigger needs to win all maps. He has not 2 shots. He has 1 last leg in the series, and he needs to break 2 from his opponent. Let's jump into the map here. In the top left we do have Trigger, looking pretty good actually in the last game, but for some reason couldn't close it out against this guy in the bottom right. It was very close though in the end. We saw Byun was almost not mining anymore. Trigger's mining was still very much advantageous, but he just depleted a little too much of his bank. Even though he almost ran Byun dry on, what was he, on like 5 bases or something? He almost depleted 5 bases worth of Terran through that game. And remember, it all started with a proxy Marauder opening. Look at this. Hello, Mr. SCV. Where are we going? Oh, that's an interesting barracks position. I was kind of looking towards an engineering bay block already because he was kind of moving so much in. But I guess you don't scout this naturally, so it could be a good position. Now, I'm guessing again. Actually, this would be a good position for a Reaper, because he's very close to the jump up point here. But I'm still guessing again a Marauder, just because of the way it's rallied. I mean, you can also wait for like 2 Reapers and then go in, of course. So guessing the Marauder, let's see. Tech Lab or not? Tech Lab, insta Tech Lab, no hesitation. This time might be even a little bit closer than the other one, but we do see a Zealot. That's gonna be very difficult to deal with here for Byun. It soaks up so much damage. If he throws down a shield battery as well, the Zealot is gonna be kind of invincible against those Marauder shots. And it will be very slow. It won't be able to touch the Marauders really, but if you pull enough units, like probes and stuff, the Zealot is just gonna be a really good addition. Oh, he could even scout this. No, but he sees the Zealot. Oh, that's so cool. So he knows there's a Zealot out on the map. He needs to wall this. He's already moving into position. This is really cool, actually. This is giving me some nerd chills here. Really nice. What a gamble from Byun, but it pays off. And Trigger has no idea that even the Zealot is already scouted. And he sees the Adept as well. The Adept misses the Marauders. Terrible situation again for Trigger. He has nothing left. So we do see the bunker again, and he's gonna settle for that thing. The pylon, of course. The Zealot is gonna walk back for a moment, and then he goes across the map again. There is the issue of that Adept across the map. So Byun will have difficulties repairing this. And you can always recall here as Trigger. But the Zealot and the Adept are not gonna do much for you anyways. I guess they will buy time. But he's chosen to basically try to break his opponent's legs, so not sure if I hate this decision. I don't think I hate it at all. But he's not minding himself right now. He's trying to get a Stalker out, but there's already 4 Marauders. He should still have that one Adept. Where did the Adept go? Did he put that forward as well? Starting to lose so many probes here. Only 1 Adept and 1 Zealot fighting. Did he lose that Adept? Yeah, unfortunately. Okay, so he did get that out of the way. There's a shield battery, but he's losing so many probes. I think Trigger's almost done here. Did not recall his units. He's still not breaking through the wall, even though he kills 4 SCVs. It's just not enough. The DPS from the Zealot is not there. The Stalkers are getting thinned out as well here. Marauders are gonna break the last Stalker leg. Oh, the probes, the reinforce, and the recharge on the battery there. Oh, he still loses it. The sentry. It shoots the wrong Marauder and it misses the force field. No recall, so he's trying his damnedest now. 1 Adept, can it kill 20 SCVs? No, the answer is no. GG's gotta be called. Byun does take this game and does qualify for RSL Season 6. Congratulations to him. And he has a shot at getting into that offline finals.